Wonderful. We are going to be speaking on the topic of the disclosure disclaimer on the Maryland real estate exam. When you are ready to take it further by doing an exam prep, we welcome you to go ahead and join us for the upcoming Maryland real estate exam prep. Welcome to a conversation about the Maryland Property Condition Disclosure Disclaimer Form. This form is provided by the Maryland Real Estate Commission. We shall go through it. It is 4 pages and it does present the questions, or rather this topic is covered in the topic of brokerage relationship or agency. The brokerage relationships or agency topic on the Maryland real estate exam offers 7 questions on the salesperson exam, which is the most questions in terms of the topic out of the 21 questions that you get. On the broker exam, you will see 7 questions as well. Also, one of the top topics that produces questions on the real estate exam. When you're looking at the questions on this particular topic, it will cover 4 conversations: listing agreement, disclosure of agency in terms of when do you disclose whom you are when you meet with the public and the documents. We do have 2 other videos that you're able to check out on the conversation of some of the forms. Disclosure of interest in property, meaning that when you own the property, or for example, you're helping somebody within your family, then you would need to disclose that in writing. The bigger topic is disclosure. And so there are forms that are coming from the Real Estate Commission. The one we're going to focus on today is the Maryland Residential Property Disclosure and Disclaimer Statement. The other disclosure forms, there's a video that we're going to attach on the description. The consent to dual agency and notification of dual agency within a team. How dual agency is played out in Maryland is very different from other states, so make sure you check out that video. Go to the description box below. The other 2 forms that we also have videos that we're going to include in the description is the Understanding Home Real Estate Agents Represent and the Open House Notice. Our focus today is going to be the disclosure form. Again, the Maryland Residential Property Disclosure and Disclaimer Form. All of these forms are found on the Real Estate Commission website. If you're working on getting your Maryland real estate license, definitely a website that you should check out. It has a lot of great content and helpful content to help you pass that real estate exam. The 5 documents presented are all on the main page. When you scroll down, you're going to see the bullet list of all the forms there. The Residential Property Disclosure Disclaimer Statement. It is 4 pages. And on the description, we're going to have a link to the entire document as well, as I know this might be small for some of us to read all the content. The 4 pages start off with a notice, and then we shall go through the exemptions, meaning who is exempt from filling out this form. It goes into latent defects. We're going to go into that later. And then the seller will fill out either the disclosure statement, bottom of page 1, into page 2 and page 3. Seller will sign it, and then it shall be presented to the buyer, who is then going to sign the bottom of page 3 to acknowledge receipt. Seller can also decide to fill out the disclaimer instead. They're still going to disclose the latent defects. Seller will sign it, and then the purchasers are going to acknowledge receipt. Let's get started with who is exempt from filling out this form. You have new construction, the first time that a property is being sold, never been occupied. or it's the first time the property is being sold after it has gone through a rehab, a gut, a remodel, whatever word you want to use, and it has gotten a certificate of occupancy and it's within that 1 year window. The other sellers is anyone exempt from transfer taxes, family, for example, or if somebody's going through a divorce and he or she is getting the property, a foreclosure property. So when the lender is selling that property, they're not required to fill out this form. The others is when it's a tax sale, the tax entity, government, is not going to fill out that form. When it's an estate, somebody has passed away and an estate has been set up. And then the other two are, it's being converted to something else other than residential property, and it is a piece of land. So this document is only for residential property. Couple of points to point out. Echoing, it is only for residential properties. It is considered as a 4-page document and treated as such. So you as the consumer buying a property where the seller has filled this out, you should expect to receive 4 pages. Seller is going to disclose known latent defects, what they know. We'll talk about latent defects, and it's very important for the buyer to receive it prior to the offer being accepted. Guess what, dear seller? Even when you're selling the property as is, unless you're one of the exempt people who are not expected to fill it out, then dear seller, when you're selling the property as is, whatever way you understood as is, you still need to fill it out unless you're one of the 7 exempted type of sellers. Seller is the one to fill it out. So dear listing agent, this is the seller's responsibility. They fill out either page 1, 2, 3 to disclose, or they're going to fill out page 4, the disclaimer. And once again, it is treated as 4 pages. So what are latent defects? Right on page 1 of the document, part of the laws does show what is a latent defect right on page 1. Seller is reminded of that before they fill out the disclosure statement. They're reminded again also if they decide to fill out the disclaimer. Latent defect is a material defect, something that you need to know. It's a seller that is disclosing that, what they actually know. So if the seller doesn't know, they're not able to, disclose something they don't know. A latent defect is a material fact that needs to be disclosed by the seller that, 1, I would not see it. When you're buying the property, you would not reasonably be expected to know about it or see it. And whatever this thing is, it would pose a direct threat to my health and safety. So examples here is if the seller knows of termite damage, they did a test, and somebody told them that it needs to get fixed, seller decided not to, or whatever reason, that needs to be disclosed. Another good example that you might hear is some of our basements, when it rains very heavily, there might be water coming into the basement or the crawl space. Seller knows about it, seller would need to disclose. Again, a latent defect is both something I would not see, I'm not expected to know about it, and it would pose a direct threat to my health and safety. What are the consequences if the buyer doesn't get this document and the seller is not exempt? If you need to go back and review who is exempt, please do so. Seller is required to give that document to the buyer prior to the offer being accepted. So what happens if that doesn't go as it's supposed to? Then buyer, you have window of opportunity for you to walk away. Rescind is to go back to its original form if there was any deposit put down or trust money or escrow, then the buyer is obligated to get their money back. Window of opportunity number 1, you get it after the contract has been accepted. You have up to 5 days to cancel because there might be some information there that you do not want to be involved in. Option number 2, when you're applying for the loan, the lender is reviewing the document and makes you aware that there's no disclosure disclaimer statement, then you can cancel. And then the third one is at settlement or occupancy, whichever comes first. So in the exam, remember the buyer has the opportunity to walk away if they do not get the disclosure disclaimer. And if you're reviewing this as a real estate agent, then we know that this is part of our code of ethics to make sure that we present that to the buyers. You're on your way to passing your real estate exam. If you qualify, meaning you've completed the course and you got an email from the PSI testing facility, we strongly encourage you to schedule your exam as soon as possible. We do have the opportunity to go through the breakdown of the questions. Here, there's 6 topics on the Maryland part of the exam. This outline is presented to you in the description below. We have duties and powers of the Real Estate Commission, and you're seeing how many questions presented there. Licensing, what are you required to do to get your license and keep it? Brokerage Relationship, as you can see, is one of the top topics for both the salesperson exam and the broker exam. Supervision topic, what is your broker expected to do? Business conduct, and then ethics. These are the topics presented on the Maryland Real Estate Exam. Some resources that we strongly encourage you to take advantage of to help you pass the real estate exam is definitely our YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on YouTube, definitely show the love and subscribe to our channel and share it. We also now have a platform, and this link will also be in the description, that presents all in one spot. If you're comfortable scanning QR codes, go ahead and do so. It's an all-in-one platform where you're able to access everything that you need to get to pass the real estate exam. The focus on there is on the national side. We get to review questions. We have our exam prep schedule presented, a deep dive into the courses with lessons on specific topics that include videos on that specific topic, slide deck, outlines, practice questions, and more. And best of all, a weekly live question and answer opportunity where one of our experts will be available to answer any questions that you've come about as you're getting ready to pass that real estate exam and change your life along with changing other people's lives. We offer tutor sessions that we're able to offer virtually, and also group coaching sessions. All these are offered virtually. The first Saturday we go through specifically on Maryland law, and then the second Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, we go through the national part of the exam. Our website offers everything that you need. Trainingwithbrenda.com is a great resource for you to check out. Let's continue this conversation. Would love to connect with you either of the ways that is presented here on social media, Brenda Kasuva, call, text, or send us an email. Until next time, all the best.
You like our style? I look forward to helping you reach your goal of passing the real estate exam.